The Cigar Nerds Podcast.
And welcome to Cigar Nerds Podcast. I'm your host, Smokin' Joe, and Brad is still lost in some undisclosed country, and I didn't want to do another solo show, so I brought in, if you've watched any of our Dragon Con content, you may remember her from that, but my lovely wife, the Ginger Avenger.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
And also, I still have another 30 days before I can start smoking, so she's going to be my stunt lungs for the episode and giving us her first professional cigar review. If you want to know why I'm not smoking, check out our YouTube video. It's called I Got Cut in Mexico. That kind of details my surgical process. But yeah, I got about another 30 days before I can enjoy a good smoke again. So this week you're smoking the Arturo Fuente Florafina 858 Rosado Sungrown. What do you think so far?
All right. Well,
As someone that, and let's preface this by your
let's do that.
usual profile is flavored cigars only. Like you smoke
acids,
the various degrees of acids. So a tobacco flavored cigar is relatively new to you.
It's not as bad as I was expecting, but then again, it's not as strong as something you would normally smoke, so that's probably why.
That's what I tried to do. Since I knew you were going to be sitting in this episode, I didn't start at mine and Brad's kind of palate level. I was like, all right, let me get something that I normally wouldn't smoke because it's a little lighter.
Harsh for me, maybe just a little. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, the reviews did say like slow start, so yeah, kind of. There's not a whole lot of flavor yet. Just it's all right so far.
Are you picking up? Oh, you said there's not a whole lot of flavors, but you picking up anything yet? How's the construction?
Something woodsy. It's a little woodsy. There's a little kind of cedar, maybe. Actually, that's probably what I'm getting. Is basically cedar. Construction is not bad. It's not even running on me, which is pretty common for an acid. So I'm not going to complain about that. But not sure yet. So
this consists of a Ecuador Rosada Sungrown wrapper and Dominican fillers. They did not discuss what the actual tobacco blend is, but yeah, Ecuador Rosado Sungrown and the Dominican. And this is kind of a Fuente limited release cigar. I think the original one came out in they did one in 2002, and this particular blend I believe was released in 2018. So it's one of those kind of limited production runs. So if you're a Fuente smoker and you can find this, pick one up. So we're kind of new old school this week. I said in my the video I got cut in Mexico, literally just got back from Mexico, so not a whole lot of time to watch anything new.
Much.
We're going to review a movie we watched on the plane, which is a new movie that I hadn't had a chance to see because it was kind of a limited release where it was only in theaters for 1 or 2 nights. But we're going to talking about Clerks 3, Kevin Smith's latest opus. And well, if you got to make it through a day of clerking, you should call in the Strike Force, strikeforceenergy.com. Use your promo code Cigar Nerds for 20% off your order. That will get you all jacked up to deal with the mouth breathers that you might have to deal with if you are a clerk,
or any kind of service industry for that matter, because matter of fact I can use some now, but it's gonna be all right.
Yeah, like I said, most jobs are great if it wasn't for the fucking customers.
That's true.
And with that, we'll be right back. And we are back. It's time to discuss Clerks 3. So
buffering.
So there's
holy shit, dude.
Well, without getting into specifics yet, what did you enjoy the movie?
You're gonna hate this, and I'm gonna say it anyway. There was a lot more emotion and there was a lot more heart in this one. I mean, the other ones are funny. Yes, they're very, very funny. Don't get me wrong. But there was some emotional behind this one. There was some
So
deep
we're getting into
feelings.
specifics, but I'm just overall.
I liked it overall, but I like all the Clerks movies. So
And like we normally, it had problems. I liked it kind of less on the second watch through because there's just some writing issues that I was like, and we'll get into that later on because I like to start with the positive of what, I mean, I did like it, but I think there was some kind of wrong turns toward the end.
Really? I didn't.
Yeah,
I don't know.
like I said, watching it the second time, it kind of like, it's like the nostalgia wore off, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of fucked up.
All right. Well, to be fair, I've only seen it once, so that might be why the nostalgia factor is still there for me. But then again, like I said, I think we might have watched the first Clerks movie on one of our dates way back when. That might have dated us a little bit, but still.
Yeah, original Clerks came out when I was still in high school. It came out in 1994.
Okay, so
Clerks 2 was 2006, and now here we are, 2022.
yeah, the nostalgia factor's still there for me. I thought it was good. I think they're. I can't believe how they've aged, and I can't believe how we've aged either. So.
Hey, I've aged like fine wine.
Absolutely, fine whiskey, dear. Absolutely. Maybe like some fermented grapes, but still.
Yeah, I'm kind of fermented.
That's right now.
The side effects of gastric surgery is lots of gas.
More so than normal too. That's the sad part.
At least it's mostly burps.
That's true so far.
But, and like I said, we'll start with the positive because I don't want to shit on anything right out the gate. And my complaints are going to be more character development related than kind of execution. But anyway, so the movie starts. Our clerks are still clerking, and this is like the first time we've seen Quick Stop in color.
See, that works for me though. It's the natural progression of things for me.
I mean, Clerks 2 was in color, but it was all
Kind of
in the movies.
Yeah.
We didn't the only shot we get of them, because literally the movie starts with the Quick Stop burning down.
Well, that's true.
So yeah, the only part we get with inside the Quick Stop is once Dante and Rantel have reopened it, and then it immediately fades black to black and white. So this is the first time we've spent a significant amount of time in the Quick Stop in color.
It's a whole new world. It's fantastic.
It's a whole new world.
No. Don't do that. Don't do that. Trust me on this.
Oh. But yeah, this...
and the viewership just dropped by 50%.
I kind of thought... all right, so Clerks 3 starts with... Yeah, they're all still working at Quick Stop. And Randall, as always, is fucking with Elias, the ultra Christian kid, which is... It's kind of funny because as a 20-something in the first movie, now 15 years later.
Was that old. I think he may have been a teenager, 17,
maybe.
18, maybe.
But him as a grown-ass adult still calling everybody Mr. Donde and Mr. Randall, and it was like, dude, like, fucking, you're in your 30s, man. Like, when are your balls going to drop?
I've seen some people like that. I'm in the service industry. You'd be surprised. I actually have some like that. So, misread. Yeah, it's kind of weird coming from an adult, but.
But yeah, and if you look at, like, he's literally not done anything since Clerks 2. I don't know what he's gone off to do in real life, but yeah, in the interim, he has not acted whatsoever, which I think his performance may have showed that a little.
Nah.
I don't know if that was like a character trait on purpose, but yeah, he's very much just kind of like
the awkward. Yeah, I think it was definitely part of the character.
Kind of there's
one
no
note.
Range in his voice.
Yeah, there is.
He was very much like
monotone.
This is the voice I'm doing, and I'm only even, except for
very little display of emotion.
Yes.
Kind of robotic, maybe.
Maybe he's a little bit, on the spectrum a little bit. He's
touch
like,
of the tism.
Yeah, he's just got the tism touch. He's not like full blown, but he may just have a little Asperger's or something, character wise. Yeah, I wonder what he did in like real life, because he did a couple movies. He did Clerks 2 and then nothing until this movie came out.
Maybe he actually did work at a fast food place. Maybe he was at a movie somewhere. We don't know.
Yeah, speaking of agent, man, that guy looks
Oh,
nothing like he did in the original. Homeboy got thick in the last.
Well, 20 years, kind of tend to do that, dear.
I mean, Randall and Dante pretty much look the same, except gray and maybe hairline receding a little bit, but
Dante's hairline receded. Randall's, you don't ever see Randall's hairline. He's got a hat on the whole time.
But freaking Rosario Dawson has not aged a day. She's like a
hot.
fucking vampire or something.
She's still hot. Definitely hot.
But yeah, and then and they're doing all the same shit. It leans heavy on the nostalgia at the first. They're all playing Cocky on the Roof, and it's all the guys from the previous movies. It's like all the guys from Comic Book Men, and you even see Jay and Silent. And I love the introduction of Jay and Silent Bob. At when we last saw them was Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, and they had a fake chicken restaurant they were selling drugs out of called Cocksmokers.
Yep.
Which apparently they finally, since they helped Dante and them reopen the Quick Stop because they had all that Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back money. And in real life, the RST video has gone out of business like a while ago. So they're like, well, we can't have the video store. So what do we
It's a dispensary now. It's fine.
Yeah, because
let's move on to the modern culture.
Like weed is now legal in Jersey, so they just put a little sign over it said instead of RST video, it says RST THC, and they're storing all the weed in the old movie
cases,
VHS cases. But I love that they've spent a lifetime as illegal drug dealers, and now that they are
legit,
legal,
they don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah. It's like, so guy comes out of the store and he's like,
slip it to me. No, it's okay, man. That's what we're here for.
Yeah. He's like, guy comes out of the store. He's like, is anybody working? Yeah, man. What do you want? 3 freaking Snuggin's pre-rolls. He's like, all right, got you. He's like, hand me the money. Freaking does the whole illegal
under the side of the jacket, off to the back. Here, pass it on. No, you don't.
And the guy's like, really? This is how we're doing it? He goes, this is how we did it in the 90s, son.
But wouldn't know anything about that, of course not.
Yeah, but that whole them unable to move, they're like, we're completely legal. We could run a legit we are running a legit business, but we still got to stand out front of the store and make
Here's
illegal
my question,
looking.
though. Is it still legal if you're doing it out front of the store instead of inside? Because I think there may be some legalities involved there. I think that
I know, with alcohol and stuff, you can't consume it outside of said restaurant, but I don't know. Maybe they still need that little bit of thrill of we're gonna do some mild crime.
Yeah,
just so we feel
crime
feel
light.
normal.
You're older now. You got kids and responsibilities. You got to make it enough to just keep going.
And in Jay's case, he does have a
couple, actually, I think.
But yeah, and then we get.
Can we talk about the horse face? Because holy God.
Oh God.
The face, it looks like it's been stretched. It's just, it was a little unnerving at first.
Jay recently.
Yeah, it was a little unnerving at first because.
Yeah, in the real world, I believe, because Jay's been sober for a while now, but he kind of got his teeth all jacked up because of the drugs and everything. So once he got sober and got money again, he's like, all right, let me fix my teeth, and it just kind of changed the whole structure of his head.
Fix the grill, but his face is now like
I said, it reminds me of Bruce Campbell when he gets his face stuck in the Necronomicon and it stretches when he's trying to pull it out.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I did think at first that it was supposed to be just some kind of effect that was thrown in there to fuck with people, because that's what it looks like to me. But no, this is real. This is really what his face looks like now. It's like, okay,
I mean,
we can roll with this. He looks a little strange, but
some white ass teeth too. Yeah, so it was a little bit
polished veneers. Those are nice.
Exactly look like Jay.
Whereas Bob looks the same as he always looks. He doesn't change. Doesn't matter how much weight he gains or not. His face is still the same. It's still
I think
the
Jay
round
even
face.
calls him a carrot eating fuck at one point.
Can you blame him? Because we call him the same thing.
Yeah, I've been on a liquid diet. I'm a carrot eating fuck.
You're not even eating carrots. At
I
this
haven't made it that far
point.
yet. Yeah, but I miss meat.
Not me.
Fuck you. Oh,
This is not that podcast.
but yeah, the Elias comes in with a box of kites.
Buddy Christ. It's Buddy Christ.
Kites to promote his new crypto club, which this movie was definitely written before the great crypto crash that we had this last. And he's like, yeah, we're starting a Christian crypto club called like
Crimson something.
No, that was afterward. It was like Christian Kites or
Christian
something like that.
Kites or something, yeah.
That they were going to make some NFTs and shit. And he's like, and then they were selling kites to promote their NFTs. And then, of course, Randall.
All right, this is where I'm going to point out I'm an idiot. What's an NFT?
Non-fungible token.
Okay.
It's basically limited artwork that's in a digital space. So you don't actually have anything physical. You just have like some piece of art in the metaverse or whatever that no one else has.
I'm just going to go play Dr. Wario on my Nintendo now. Okay.
Yeah. It's the next, it's like fancy crypto, where crypto is like coins. NFT is like tradable art pretty much.
Oh, okay. God, I'm old. Anyways.
Don't worry, it all crashed and it's all mostly worthless now.
Because I must have missed that one.
But it was really popular for a hot minute. It's not how we did things in the 90s, son.
So far out of touch. Just so far out of touch. As far as I'm concerned, it still is the 90s.
Oh, simpler times, man. Simpler times.
Were they, though? Were they?
Simpler for me.
Well, that's true. For you, they were. They weren't so much for me, but you know.
Still living at home in the 90s. Didn't had less bills.
Yeah. You are still living at home. Now it's your home. That's the problem.
Yeah, but now in your 40s, they expect results.
Yeah.
It's like Ghostbusters. You've never worked in the private sector.
No.
They expect results.
Nah, it's all right. It'd be all right.
But yeah, so Randall keeps talking shit about his Christian stuff, and eventually, jokingly, Elias prays to smite him, and perfect timing, he has a heart attack.
Cue the thunderbolts. Randall drops down to the floor. You know.
And it's funny because you don't listen to the podcast, but once Randall gets picked up and taken to the hospital, there's this whole thing like, what kind of pain are you in? Like -3. That's pretty funny for a guy having a heart attack. What the fuck? And he's like, yeah, you should be in all sorts of pain. And then like the whole like doctor
I think that whole part was a PSA for people that have grown up with Clerks. This is what you should watch out for, just so you know. We're going to throw the information in there.
Well, that's the thing. Like, the script totally changed. They were supposed to do this movie several years ago, and they just couldn't. At that time, Weinstein wasn't in prison, so they had trouble getting the rights back to do a Clerks movie. And then after Kevin had his heart attack, the script got completely rewritten. It's like the original script is probably, I don't know how close this is to the original script, but yeah, it was majorly overhauled after
Kevin said, wait a minute, I gotta do some bargaining with God, so maybe I better put some PSAs in here and something to atone for some things. Please don't smite me down if you don't mind. But
that whole conversation about like some of the lines that the doctor has, and the whole like arguing with the orderly about shaving his balls because he has a small dick. Like, all those are straight from real life. Like, Kevin has told that story on his podcast about not wanting to get his nuts shaved for the surgery because he was afraid everyone would see his dick. Maybe this was part of
bargaining with God after he had his heart attack. If you let me live, I'll tell the small dick story. Let me live, I'll tell the small dick story. I'll put it in a movie so it goes on forever, and that's the price I have to pay.
I think also that one where she's like, if you know any prayers, this would be a good time. And he starts like, Crom or praying to Crom from I think Kevin, it was like the Green Lantern, oath, because that was like the only thing he could remember.
Yeah. Hey, that's okay.
With great power comes great responsibility.
I will hear the lamentation of their women and children or something. I can't remember how it goes, but
Save me, Batman. Or was it Will Ferrell from Talladega Nights? Help me, Jesus. Help me, Tom Cruise, God.
yeah, help me, Tom Cruise. Save me a little 9 pound 11 ounce baby Jesus.
But yeah, like pretty much all that shit was like straight from real life.
Yeah.
if you've actually listened to his some of his podcasts and public speaking.
Making money by your own, personal humiliation. Is it really humiliating at that point if you're making millions off of it? Does it really matter?
Nah, I mean, I'd make an ass of myself if I was getting paid for it.
You make an ass of yourself without getting paid for it.
True enough.
So do I. As that matter on a regular basis, so it's okay.
Now I just got to figure out how to get paid for it.
Yeah, we can get that part. Well, there's always OnlyFans.
Not for me. I mean, maybe when I get skinny and
Dad bods are in, man. I like you. I got a contract inside that says so.
My hopper, get my hopper look on.
I'm down with that.
I still need to get one of those Stranger Things Hawaiian shirts.
We could do that. That makes me Winona Ryder. I'm okay with that. That's not a bad way to go.
So, Randall's life flashes before his eyes, and he's like, "Watch the movie of my life, and it fucking sucked. I've done nothing with my life," which it's kind of weird to say about somebody who's like in their 50s. Clerks 2 was kind of a coming of age story for Dante, where this one is kind of the coming of age, or at least finally becoming a real adult for Randall.
Yeah, but he doesn't do it till nearly the end, though. He's still a selfish, obsessed asshole.
That's how movies work. You can't have
you can't come to that great realization in the middle. It has to be near the end.
Yes, that's pretty much
There you go.
how story structure works. So he's like, all I've done is like watch movies and talk shit. And then finally Dante's like, I always thought you could make a good movie. And he's like,
I should make a movie.
bulb going. I was like, we're making a movie. Which admittedly, and basically they set out to make Clerks. Except their version's called Inconvenience, but it's basically Clerks. Burp number 1.
We're going to keep a count. Need a marker board to make a tally.
Yeah, I need to figure out how to do Photoshop and just add like a check mark in the video. Admittedly, it's probably much easier to do that today than it was when Kevin Smith made the original Clerks.
Probably, because everybody wants to be, 10 seconds famous.
I mean, so just the technology. Back then, you had to have actual film. Now it's like, fuck, if I wanted to, I could film a whole movie on my damn phone,
Yeah.
Like the storage and the
don't need a 50-pound camera and a fuzzy boom mic that's 9 inches long or 9 feet long.
No, you can just use a microphone taped to a hockey stick.
Yeah, there you go. That would actually be pretty,
That's what
that
they
would
use
work
in
for
the movie.
Oh.
If you weren't paying attention.
I must have missed that part. My bad.
So yeah, they set out to start writing Clerks 3,
Say what now?
They start out to write the original Clerks movie in their world. But I like how they brought back all the
previous
for the most
characters.
Part, like the original, because I mean, when Kevin made that movie, he didn't have famous friends. It was all people from the neighborhood, and they literally like got, for the most part, all those people that were in the original film, except for
I mean, the previous girlfriend. What was it? How many dicks exactly? 17 something.
37.
37. That's right.
It's always
My bad.
37.
37.
37.
Yeah, she didn't look too bad. She looked. I mean, there was some wear on her tires, but not bad.
Oh. But yeah, the one who was going to marry the Asian design major, she has passed away since then. So that's the only one who, that I can think of, did not return from the original crew. But they go through like their original plan of like, I've changed the names to protect the guilty. Let's get real actors to be in this movie. And they do this hilarious like montage of auditionings. And that's where Kevin puts in all his famous buddies for their cameos.
Why is it always Affleck? Why is it always Affleck? Ugh.
Lion face, lemon face.
No bueno. No Affleck, no Damon. I can go without both.
Oh, freaking, what the hell's the guy's name? Trejo.
Oh, yeah, Danny Trejo. Yep. Now, that would have been okay. I could have seen him in there somewhere. That
It was like
right.
Trejo, all the guys from Impractical Jokers.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember his real name, but Melissa Benoist and the guy, her husband now, both of them from Smallville.
Yeah. Smallville. Mm-hmm.
Not Smallville, Supergirl.
Supergirl. Thank you.
Like, I've not seen them since that show went off the air, and like at first I didn't recognize her.
I didn't believe you. I thought you were lying to me because I didn't think that's who that was, because she doesn't look at all.
Yeah,
they don't look at all like their characters.
As a blonde, and she has gone like full brunette. It was like, who is? I know all these people in this montage are like famous friends, and I'm like, who is that chick? And I'm like, oh wait, that's freaking Supergirl.
Yeah, I didn't believe you at first, but
it was funny. The other guy who plays Mon-El, that horrible He-Man animated series Kevin Smith did. Mm-hmm. He voiced Superman. I'm not Superman. He-Man.
He-Man.
My brain is fucking liquid diets. My
Oh
brain
my God,
cells are
man.
starting to rot. But yeah, at one point he's like, by the power of Grayskull, I'm not even supposed to be here today.
I might have to use that one day, because that one's not bad. If you know get the reference, it's not bad.
Oh, even Ethan Suplees from Mallrats and shit. He was just like, I'm not even fucking supposed to be here.
I'm never gonna see the sailboat.
Yeah.
I can't see the sailboat either. It's fine.
Yeah, that was
One of the ones that didn't age too bad, actually. He actually doesn't look too bad. He aged pretty well.
I mean, hell, he was in the last thing I saw him in was that The Ranch. He was the weird police officer.
Right. The drunken police officer is always bailing Rooster and everybody out.
But yeah, that dude, like, he lost a bunch of weight. He got ripped as shit too. He's like, there's a freaking picture of him in the gym, like throwing up weight. He's like, and he's like, out of some of those original guys, like, actually had a pretty big career. It's like the rest of the kind of Clerks. Well, he wasn't in Clerks. He was in Mallrats, but like, most of the people in the original Clerks world did not do a whole lot.
Not
outside
really.
of,
I mean,
which it kind of surprised me because, especially this movie, the guy who plays Dante, Brian O'Halloran, damn good actor. Like some of the, like, the more emotional scenes, I was like, oh shit, this guy can
he's got
act.
some
Why
range.
is he
There's
not
definitely some range there. He can pull off the dry, sarcastic, but there's definitely some
more
emotional
stuff.
range there.
Even like, Jeff Anderson, which he's done a few things and made some movies of his own, but yeah, you don't see him that much. But yeah, I mean, both of them are like, oh shit, you guys learned to act in the last 30 years.
Y'all actually can act now,
And even Kevin is like you said, this movie's been different than his previous works, where it had a lot more emotion to it. I would say this is more.
This is made more. And
this is
targeted
more of a
more
Chasing
people our
Amy
age.
than. Well, that's what he always said about Clerks. He's like, Clerks was me in my 20s. Clerks 2 was visiting my life in my 30s, and now Clerks 3 is like your 40s and 50s. Mm-hmm. So it's like, kind of checking in with those characters at each kind of milestone decade of their life. But I mean, this looks like a professional movie, and it was, like I said, had like real, funny stuff, but real emotional scenes where the actors like legit act. I'm like, oh, like this isn't Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, which was just straight up comedy. This is like Kevin's actually learned how to make a really intriguing movie.
I mean, there was some good joke in there. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Elias is the comedic relief all the way. I think I might have had some of those outfits back in the day.
Oh yeah, we didn't even mention that.
Some
yet.
of the goth outfits that he's wearing are great. Some of them I'd wear now.
Yeah,
honestly.
when Randall's in the hospital, he's praying. He's like, Lord, and he's like, He's not answering me. Well, fuck him. Like, I've wasted my life on Jesus. He's like, please, Dark Lord Satan, I will be your concubine if you just save Randall.
You can rape my soul at will if you'll just make Mr.
Do you have
Randall
any lube,
survive.
Mr. Dante? No, I don't deserve lube. Like, I caused this. And
Better
so,
with lube.
So when Randall comes out of the heart attack, no problem, he's like, well, I guess I'm a Satanist now.
Yep.
And like every time you see him, he has like some different kind of era of weird goth outfit.
But they were great. They were great. Suits my little black heart. I mean, I could do without the glitter, but that blue suede velvet jacket, come on now, I need that.
Oh, and he'd come in looking like the girl from Blade Runner, and he's like, nice Blade Runner. He's like, what's Blade Runner?
Just in case you forgot how old you actually are, here's a little reference that only half of you are going to get.
Oh, yeah, it was like every outfit was just more and more ridiculous.
But they were great. I remember wearing something similar to some of those back in the day.
And he's got his, like, Elias has his buddy Crypto, which is his Silent Bob, because the dude doesn't speak through the whole thing. And he even hit him like some kind of weird, like almost matching outfit.
It's kind of like Dr. Evil and his mini-me is kind of what it's working there. This is my Vern Troyer. It's just great. You got to have a minion. You can't do it. You can't do, satanic possession if you don't have a minion. It doesn't work.
One where he comes in with just the fucking crow on his shoulder.
I think I did that for Halloween one year and didn't safety pin a crow to my shoulder. But
or the funeral scene where he's got like the one armored glove and the cane and shit.
Looks
and the
like
giant
he looks like
Flavor
Thanos.
Flav looking pentagram.
And then you got the Flavor Flav pentagram hanging down here. Looks like a hubcap. But it's fantastic and it works. And the hair and the makeup and it works. If you're thinking back to your 90s, late 80s, early 90s emo kids, gothic kids, me, I had some of that glitter and I had some of that, see-through mesh, and it was great.
Yeah, his even like just monotone speech, the whole thing didn't like the physical comedy made up for it. Like you just had to look at him and laugh. It didn't matter what he was saying. It's just like this fucking guy.
Can we talk about the Donkey Show reboot? Because we had to have the Donkey Show reboot, and then you didn't see anything.
But before that, the other thing we revealed is Becky's dead.
That sucks. That really sucked.
Yeah. And like, so once we get into like talking about the negative, I've got a take on that. But yeah, so they're basically recreating Clerks 1 and 2. And they get to the part where like, we're going to film the Donkey Show. And he's like, don't worry, I got our locations guy working on it.
Our location scout's on it. He's,
And Jay just shows up like with three pre-rolls in each hand, like some kind of stoned Wolverine, and just smokes out the entire crew.
Smoke out all the movie's crew.
We get like a little, gets them all too stoned to notice. And then they even found a donkey somewhere and was going to refilm that. And then Dante has a panic attack because he's like, I'm so traumatized by my wife dying that I'm not going to go in. I've not been in that store since then. And he
you should be. You should be.
Bails and runs away. And then that's kind of where the...
So if y'all catch him anywhere significant after my death, then feel free to beat his ass.
I don't go to Wendy's now. I'm not going to go there when you die.
That was wrong, you underhanded little bastard. That was just
I've
wrong.
been protesting that store for years.
I can't believe you just did that to me. You're going to pay for that later. You're so going to pay for that later. You have to sleep around me. You remember that, right? At some point, you're going to be asleep.
Anymore.
Good choice. Asshole. You asshole.
Oh.
We couldn't have made it, something different. We couldn't have, kept it under wraps. No, we have to just straight out call it by name.
It's like movies.
Would you like to call out the town too?
We're in a shed in an undisclosed location.
Exactly. Let's keep it that way. I have enough problems with my reputation as it is.
But yeah, so they skip to the base, if you remember Clerks 1, the scene where after Veronica has left him because Randall told her that he wasn't in love with her anymore, trying to be helpful. And we get the whole salsa shark scene. Yeah, Dante shows up just drunk as fuck. And he pulls him into the cooler to chew him out. And he's like, man, it's cold. He's like, yeah, Hoth cold, which is a quote directly from the Clerks animated series that only had like 6 episodes, if you've never seen that.
Wait a minute, what? There was an animated series?
Yes, there was an Clerks cartoon series on ABC.
When was this?
Voiced by the original cast. Oh, it was a long time ago. Hell, I think I got a copy of it there on the table. But only 2 episodes aired and it got canceled, and then they released like the full 6 episodes that they had.
I think I was out having a life while this is going on, maybe.
They finally released like all 6 episodes on DVD, if you still have those. But yeah, there was one whole episode, because every show has to have that one episode where it's just a clip episode where they're like, hey, you remember this? And usually they get, trapped in an elevator or there's some reason why they're not doing anything in that episode. They're just reminiscing. Yeah, in this one, they accidentally got locked in the freezer at the Quick Stop, and it was like a whole just kind of clip show episode for a series that only had 6 episodes, which was kind of weird.
That's all right. It's all right.
But yeah, that's directly from that cartoon if you've ever saw it. But yeah,
back to Becky dying, and
Randall has like the whole like, fuck you, man, you ain't done shit on this. Like, this is all me, and he's like, motherfucker, like I paid for this shit. It's like, but he didn't tell him that he had to like basically sell his soul or half the store to his ex-girlfriend to get the money to pay for it. And he's
the car wash heiress.
Yeah, he's like, man, you ain't done nothing. Like, now you're showing up, you ruined a take last night, and you're drunk as shit, so you're gonna probably ruin this take too. Like, fucking get your shit together, man. And they start.
And he has every right to get upset because, come on now. I mean, you're dragging me somewhere emotionally jarring, and I'm just saying, it's.
Yeah, he's like.
Randall's kind of an asshole. I mean, he's very like kind of a dick.
Selfish at this point.
Very self-centered.
But it's funny because they start off filming that salsa shark scene, and it starts off very much like the argument in it's like, fuck you, man, don't stop pushing me, and then it like evolves into him like going, fuck you, like this whole thing's been about you, have you never thought
you don't give a damn about anybody but yourself? You're still a child, Yeah,
this is not your life. This is actually our life. I've been here this whole time, and you know how fucked up my life has been. Like, did it never occur to you that I might not want to relive all this bullshit and have it out? Like, even to the point where like Bob's filming the whole thing, and he's like, oh shit, wait a minute, this isn't script. Let me just go ahead and put the camera down because, that's the other thing. It's like.
Bob's a filmmaker because
when he's like, you got to find us a DP. He's like, we're doing DPs? No, director of photography. That's the. And he's like, all right, I got a guy.
We might be doing DPs. Who knows?
Welcome to Shooter Bob. And he's like, and then he's like, and then he's like, with the freaking light gauge, like scouting thing. He's like, all right, we can do this, but the color in here sucks. So we're gonna do it in black and white. And he's like, fuck black and white. And then. He goes off on this whole like art school explanation. Is like, no. Like,
how many people here have actually filmed a fucking movie?
Like,
just
we've been
me.
On 2 sets. And he's like, and this is a whole great explanation. Is like, dude, like the color in here sucks. Black and white would be better. And it also is like a shout out to like the soul crushingness of this life and yada yada yada. And it make it look like people are viewing you through an imaginary store security cam and all that. Plus, we're shooting in black and white, or you find another one. And he's like, but it's like this most professional description about like, hey, this is why I want to shoot it this way. That it was like, oh, so yeah, Bob's like.
So you had to catch some flack for the first one, and this is his chance to clap back at that. That's exactly what that is.
Or even the scene where they're filming Jay's dance outside the video store at night.
Oh yes,
that is literally like from real life, because I've heard that story where it's like when we made this first movie, we were not actors, and Jay was like, so like shy to begin with that he's like, I got to get him drunk too, and then we had to pretty much just like everyone like leave the set because he could not do the dance while anyone was watching him.
But then you get Clerks 2 and the Silence of the Silence of the Lambs. What's his name? Coyote Bob or Coyote something? I don't remember what his name is.
Was it Coyote Bill or
Coyote Bill or something?
Fuck, I don't remember. It's been a long time.
You get the flat out, full on makeup and.
Well, he's made a lot of movies since Clerks 1.
That's true. I mean, if you're going to come out of your shell, come all the way out to where you tuck your penis to dance.
Just hang out with your wang out.
But it wang wasn't out. It was tucked because that's part of that's the whole point. You can't portray that character without tucking it back.
Oh. And even before that, we had that this scene where, remember the first movie, Bob doesn't say shit to like the final line, and they're filming that, and he's like, there's a lot of fines in this world, and he's like, no, it's a lot of fine women.
Women are fine in this world, but yeah, fine.
I'm fucking it up. Then finally he's like, dude, you can't say shit. Fine, I'll fucking do it myself. And then Bob does his line for the movie, and they're all like, oh shit, that's like perfect. But yeah, the Jay just screwing it up over and over again, or when they're kind of arguing and they're trying to do that scene where the guy comes in. I can't remember what he asked for in the rhythm, like the old guy, and then he's like, "Is it my turn yet, Randall? No, we got to reset. Dante screwed up." Like, because like, "Is it my turn yet, Randall?" It's like, "No, man." And then Jay's like, "Hey, quit fucking it up." And then the one guy's like, "You're talking shit to my dad. You want to fight?" And chase him out of the store. Bob goes back up, and Randall's just like, "This is the most Jersey thing I've ever seen."
Is it wrong that I wanted it, an ABC click where, Jay with pigtail? Is it wrong that I wanted it? I wanted it, but it's okay. That's what Clerks 2 is for.
The Jackson 5 moment.
That was great.
You kind of got a little bit of a dance sequence with the getting the movie's employees stoned.
Wasn't as good. I missed the pigtails on Jay, and, I miss it. Needed the Jackson 5, Of course, I gave you Rosario Dawson on the roof, and she's hot. Definitely screen candy, so it's fine. Yeah,
the bouncing boobs was the best special effects in Clerks 2.
I don't think those are special effects. I can make mine do that. I mean,
But they were a special effect.
I enjoyed it. Boobs are good. Boobs are always good.
Yeah,
Where the hell were we?
Oh yeah, the argument, and yeah, they had that huge fight, and then Dante falls out with a heart attack.
He's like, "Get up, man! Come on, man! Get up!"
Yeah, get up, drunkie. And he's like, "Oh shit! Like, call an ambulance." And then he's like, they get him to the hospital, and even Elias gets like kind of an emotional moment because he's like, "All right, there's no point in standing around here. I'm gonna go back and work on the movie." He's like, "Dude, what the fuck? Like, you selfish son of a bitch!" And it's like, Elias has been such a Randall worshiper through both these movies. He's like, "No, dude, I'm
a grown-up now, and you're being a dick, and I can't take it. This is ridiculous."
Your only concern at this point is that your best friend is in the fucking hospital, not like, my movie.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
Why are you doing an impression of Christopher Nolan? He's like, "No, we're doing an impression of you, asshole." He's like, I'm done, like, worshiping you because you're
a fucking dickhead.
A fucking
I don't
asshole.
I've wasted too much of my life already, and I want to grow up to be a decent human being, even if I am in spandex and 6-inch heels and glitter.
And then he tells him, he's like, "Dude, he even, he's like, you say that he did nothing for this project, but literally this project would not exist without him. He even went and sold his half of the
quick stop
to his ex, like,
heartless car wash."
And he's like,
heiress.
"Oh my God, he made that kind of sacrifice for me." And he's like, tries to apologize to him, and they throw him out of the hospital, and he goes back to his apartment, which I didn't realize it was an apartment. Like, I mean, I've always seen that third door, but I didn't realize it was an apartment between the quick stop and the video store.
How sad is it? You can't ever, I mean, you talk about not being able to leave work because you're working from home, but how sad is it? You can't even go more than 2 steps away to get home. Oops, now I'm going to be an amateur. I'm going to hit the table too.
Your, commute? Gotta be great.
Yeah, but no.
Yeah, you can go home for your lunch break. It's just upstairs.
Yeah. You can go home for your lunch break.
You can go spank off or something.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah, he goes in and starts like re-editing the movie. Like I said, now you can do all that shit on your laptop. Like back when they did it originally, like it was literally like cutting and pasting
and taking film and cutting the cells out, which is actually cool if you've seen that stuff, like all the old school film equipment where you got the long strips of cells. It's actually really cool, but that's just me because I'm a nerd. So
if you were a legit guy working in a gas station, you wanted to make an independent film, you could probably do it a whole lot cheaper than they did. The budget on this movie was $7 million. The budget of the original Clerks was like $27,000.
Probably.
Kevin like maxed out his credit cards, and I think he sold his car to like make that first movie.
Yeah, but did you see what it actually has made so far? I almost feel bad for him, but I almost don't, because God knows he's got the money to do it. He can do whatever he wants at this point. It only made $4 million that I saw last.
No,
So,
this movie is at 4.2. I don't know what original Clerks is.
no,
made
not the original
through
Clerks. I'm talking about this one.
But I mean, Kevin's always made his money on.
But you're Kevin Smith. You can do whatever you want. I mean, you're just bored and want to hang out with your buddies. You
he
can
just
do
bought
that.
a movie theater in Jersey. He bought the theater, like the Atlantic Highlands Theater or whatever, that where him and his dad used to go watch movies, and now it's like, what was it called? Smodcastle Cinemas, where they still play movies, but then he has like these nights where he does like Q&As and movie festivals and shit. So yeah, if you're ever up in the Jersey area, like he literally owns a theater now.
I would like to go up there at some point before, at some point before he's gone, before we're gone, whatever. That should be a thing we should do.
Yeah, because they have all
This has been a part of our relationship since we were young. It's kind of ingrained in there.
Yeah, my buddy Strangeway, he's gone to Quick Stop and shit because he's originally from Jersey. But yeah, I'd like to go up there and check out the.
Yeah, I would like to go check the theater out.
I need to look on there, see if they have a website or something that shows like upcoming like events they have there. Because
it may not even be on a schedule. It may just be something he randomly decides to do. But
that's how businesses are. You got to put shit on a schedule so you can advertise and then sell tickets to said events.
But if you're Kevin Smith and you have that kind of... Never mind.
Yeah, that's not how shows work. You got to promote
Yes, dear.
things. So I'm sure there's a list of upcoming events if I get a chance to look at their website. But, oh, fuck, where was I? Yeah, so he goes home.
They get in the fight. He goes home and...
Because in his original script, Dante didn't even show up to, like, page 37 in the script. So when he like, realized it, it's like, oh, no, this isn't... Because he at one point he tells him, he's like, dude, I'm the Han Solo Luke Skywalker of this story. You're like Dak from, Luke's co-pilot from Empire.
You had one scene in this whole thing, and in my whole life, you only had one scene. That was all you did, and you didn't contribute anything.
So he re-edited the movie to the original Clerks, and then goes and sees Jay and Bob. He's like, hey, man, I got to get in the hospital to see Dante, but I need you to cause a distraction. He's like, who's Dante? He's like, and he's smoking like a 3-foot joint. He's like, you stoned motherfucker. He's like, Dante, the guy who works at the store who's not me.
I thought his name was what?
Oh, was it Sergio?
Sergio, yeah.
He's like, yeah, man, we'll do anything for Sergio. And he comes running through the hospital with his pants around his ankle and a Batman mask made out of a hospital like mask, going, I took a poo in the ICU.
This is the one that was too afraid to dance in front of anybody, so we had to clear the whole scene so he could dance. And now he's running around with his underwear down,
But he has a mask.
That's it. I forgot. If you cover your eyes, it doesn't count.
And he just
put on a pair of glasses. It's fine.
3-foot joint.
Somebody else, yeah. Well, if you
so
smoke a 2-foot joint, you might think a lot of things are a good idea.
So he goes in there and he's like, hey, man, like, I want you to watch the movie. And he's like, I'm sorry I was an asshole. Like, you are my best friend. I love you. Like, watch the movie.
You are actually the main character. It's not me. You're the Han. I'm the Chewie.
Yeah, and he watches it and he's like, no, like, you're the Luke. Like, I'm the Dak. Like, this is my story. This, your story is my story. And when they show Clerks to Dante, it's the original Clerks. It's not like all the new stuff that they've shot. It's pretty much the scenes they showed them making were exactly what's in the original movie. And it was kind of cool. It's like, they use that footage from the original movie to
Why did we not get the dead guy in the bathroom that the Veronica had? What was her name? Veronica, I think?
No, that Veronica was the original girlfriend. It was Caitlin Bree.
Okay, yeah. Why did we not have the scene with the dead guy in the bathroom? Because that was great.
Well, probably because, like I said, the actress that played her has passed. So that whole storyline they didn't use.
Asian design major.
Yeah.
Well, is
I
it
did like that one
Asian?
where he's like, where they're like, why are we saying this racist shit? Because original Clerks was made in a different time. He's like, it's like, why has he got to be Asian? Like, no, dude. He's a guy who majors in Asian design.
He just happens to be Asian American anyway.
Asian.
But he's majoring in Asian design.
Oh. And then Dante watches the movie and dies.
And then he croaks, which is sad.
All right, before we get to like the wrap up of the movie, here's my problems with the movie.
Okay.
Clerks 2 gave Dante like a happy ending. Mm-hmm. Like at the end,
It wasn't an ending though. It was the start of a whole new life. It was.
But then, like, cool, great setup. He proposes to Becky at the end. He's having a child. And then you basically ruin that whole storyline.
Yeah.
Because she died before even having the child. So he got, 6 to 9 months of joy before his life was just ruined.
Because the last scene of Clerks 2, you see them, and she's
reopening the store, and it's like
she's round, and obviously
even if she was only like a couple weeks pregnant in Clerks 2, so yeah,
you see her at the 3 or 4 month mark or somewhere in there where she's obviously pregnant.
So he's definitely been with her less than 9 months at this point. So yeah, and even on the gravestone it says 2006. So it's like, yeah, you set up this whole kind of, if they never did a third movie, a happy ending for Dante, and then you just absolutely fuck that shit in this movie.
Because you can't tell about Randall becoming a decent human being or actually becoming self-aware at all, for that matter.
Even if you wanted to kill off Becky, you could have done it like, instead of 2006, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and him dealing with a child as a single father.
That would have been okay, I'll give you that one. That would have been an interesting.
Gave him like, so literally you
so put a kid in there with him and Randall and see how screwed up we can get the kid to be.
Like literally, like he set up this whole happy ending for Dante, and then
it
fucked him over. He only had like I said 8 months of happiness, and then he's back to this.
Yeah, I'll give you
And then
that.
also the other thing, like I said, it's I guess a storytelling problem for me is every time you see these dreams or imaginations of him communicating with Becky, it's all about you should move on, you need to turn the page, you need to move past that, and then he dies. Like they set up that like Dante was eventually going, and I thought that it's because they brought back his original girlfriend from the first movie and recreated those scenes.
Kind of a moment there.
They hooked. That's what I thought. I thought eventually we're going to go to that where he end up, because she said she's divorced, rekindle something there and give him some kind of like, all right, Dante's moving on. Because like I said, they set that up. Like, the first thing is like, dude, you need to dream better, move on, turn the page. And then the second one, she's like, it's just a movie. You can go in there. Come on, man. You've got your whole life to live. Move on. And then he just fucking dies.
But life can be like that sometimes. Life is like that sometimes.
True, but
it sucks, but it is.
I just think they really fucked that character over.
Well, yeah, probably. But do you really think Randall would have become a decent human being without that kind of loss?
Maybe not, but yeah, it just seems like unfair to the character of Dante.
It was very unfair to Dante. Dante got screwed over. He got the short end. It
just kind of like fucks the whole ending of Clerks 2. He's like, hey man, Dante's all right. And then nope, Dante's life sucks even worse now than it did before.
His life doesn't suck at all. He's dead. He went off with Becky.
To have sex with celebrities in the afterlife.
Yeah, to have sex with celebrities in the afterlife. They're getting it on with George Washington Carver.
Because they like peanuts.
Because they like peanut butter. Going ass to mouth. It's great.
Peanut butter jelly, man. And then, so we get...
What is wrong with you?
They get... my brain is like a computer with 15 tabs open. It just jumps from random shit to random shit. At least 3 of them are stuck, and one of them's playing music. I don't know where it comes from.
Currently caffeine, and I'm holding it down a little better than you are. That's a problem.
And then we get Dante's funeral.
And Elias looked epic. And he gave an epic speech. And it was wonderful. That was great. That was Elias's defining moment.
That running joke of trying to tell the fable of Jesus and the 2 thieves.
Yeah,
There's a good thief and a bad thief. He's like, well, if they got caught, weren't they both bad thieves? He's like, Jesus did no wrong. We are all but thieves. Yeah. It's supposed to be but, comma, thieves.
But thieves.
But everyone's like, the running joke every time he says it, what are but thieves?
That's where the ass to mouth comes in. Only in season, though. Gotta stay in season. I believe it's season now, actually, because it's colder than a fucking witch's tit in here.
Oh, yeah, I believe it starts October 1st.
Well, then we're almost a month into season. We're fine.
So we just get back to them working at the store, and he's like, come on, take your spot behind the register.
But this is also Elias's character arc, too. I mean, how else are you going to give Elias something to step into that's not,
But he's like, I told you, man, when Dante's gone, you're my new best friend. Like, and then, of course, the ex shows up and is like, oh, by the way,
I want my money back.
Yeah, I loaned Dante 30 grand, this half of the store. If you don't have that money, then I own this bitch. And then
in comes Minion Boy with the Jesus Christ or Buddy Christ.
Like, the kites are flying.
The kites are flying.
He's like, oh, the fucking kites again. He's like, no, our NFT is all sold out. We've made $1 million. He's like, yeah, and I cashed out 100,000 of it to get 6. Here's your half.
Here, bitch, have this money and get the fuck out of here.
And then he's like, hail Satan.
She was a total twat waffle anyway. She needed to go.
But he's like, I can never really earn my place at this register, but I can buy it. Here's your money. Be gone, succubus.
Run along, twat
well
waffle.
Played, Clerks.
Go fornicate in another direction, please.
And then Jay and Bob come in like, man, that's a lot of money. You want some weed? Yes, I want all the weed.
I think it was all the weeds too, because he's so deluded, and he's been raised in such an uptight Christian society. He's like, can I have the weeds? Yes, come join me, child, in the magical land of weed.
And they run off to smoke weed and fly kites, and then Randall says, man, I wish you were here. And you get Ghost Dante there staring at him, and the camera just pans out with
Now, if we were gonna do it, we should have actually gone Star Wars with it. We should have had ghostly apparition Dante in the robe. It should have been a thing.
But here's my other problem with the movie is, and we'll get to the post credits ish here in a second. It just ends with him working at the store. Like, nothing about the movie they've been making. Like, I mean, it should have ended like Kevin Smith actually like, I sold the movie. Whatever, like something about like...
But why? Why does it have to become... Why do you have to reach these lofty
Because
goals?
his whole point of making the movie is he's done nothing with his life. And he's basically back at square one where he's still just a clerk.
But it's not been a life poorly spent, is I think the whole message you're trying to get there. It's, I've had these fun times with these people that mean something to me. Yes, I've had a pathetic job. And maybe I'm reaching here. Maybe it's my own poor self-image that's screaming out for validation. Try again. Maybe it's my own poor little self-image that's screaming out for validation.
But if, like you said, the point of this movie was to give Randall a happy ending and at the expense of Dante, they don't. They give him
Maybe
just
not a
it's
happy
another
ending,
Tuesday.
But you've given him perspective on life. It's like, yes, this is my job and it sucks and it's a service job, which sucks in general. But I've had this great life with these great people, even if some of them are a little, it's Jay and Bob, but I've had this great life with these people, and these people have touched me in a way, and
Mud.
I don't have to be a car wash millionaire heiress to make $1 million to make it work.
I just thought it was a disappointing ending.
Ugh.
But if you listen to the credits, Kevin Smith eventually pops up and kind of explains stuff. He's like, I thought this pan out to this song, I'm from New Jersey, whatever it is.
Just like Ohio, which I'm personally offended by. But
was kind of a beautiful look, but in the original script there was going to be a voiceover from the voice of Smod, which is going to be like, Randall he continued to work at the Quick Stop when not making movies, and made a bunch of movies, and
died as a 98-year-old man,
Yeah, and did this interview at the release of his final movie, all produced by Crimson Kites Productions or whatever. And he said, what have you learned about both these jobs? And he's like, well, I used to say this job would have been good if it wasn't for all the customers. But now I realize both these jobs are good because of the customers and the people that we've met or whatever. Like,
which is a lie. It's a lie. I've been in the service industry a long time. It's a lie.
I mean, they didn't even have to do like the voiceover stuff. If they had just done like, I don't know, like you've seen some movies where it's like you freeze frame and there's like a text bubble that is like,
that would have been
this
all right.
person went on to be senator, blah, 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 blah. The movie ended with like no real closure. If you didn't listen all the way through the credits to get that kind of thing, it'd have been like, what the fuck, man? You just made this whole deal about making a movie and you do nothing with it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I would at least like to have seen that in kind of like a text scroll or something that Randall went on to be a celebrated filmmaker and released a whole bunch of movies, but he never quit working at the Quick Stop in his downtime. Blah 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 blah. Or went on to open a chain of Quick Stops across the country, and now he's worth $1 billion fucking dollars. Something to kind of
37
wrap this shit up. Yeah, his
37 wives in that time. No,
his production company, 37 Dicks.
37 Dicks.
So we've come to the point of the show where we wrap up. Any final thoughts on this here cigar? Did you ever get some flavor out of it? Did it? Did it change for you?
I'm sorry. I apologize. I really do. That there was nothing there. I mean, it smoked all right, and it didn't get heavier, which I kind of was grateful for because I'm used to something a little lighter. I could honestly light up an acid right now because there was nothing there. There's no flavor. I mean, if you're gonna sit with somebody that's an amateur, which I am kind of sort of still, but kind of sort of not, it's not bad. It's something I'd hand somebody that's never done it before, but it's not. There was no satisfaction.
They don't have to taste like blueberries to be good.
I didn't want blueberries. I wanted something, but the flavor never changed.
Well, it's because you're a fucking chain smoker and you've burned out your taste buds.
That might be it.
Lay off the cigarettes, you might taste something.
Oh, bite me.
All right, Black Lung.
Shut up.
So any final thoughts of this movie? Do you have a particular favorite part or thing?
All right, I'm gonna go total girl because I'm gonna be the girl. I can't help it. Badass bitch can be girl. The scene where he's at the cemetery talking to Becky is still going to be, like I said, it's Clerks. You're not expecting any heart from a movie like that, but yeah, that's gonna do it for me. I
teared
when
up.
They
come back when he's watching the movie on his deathbed in the hospital. It shows him like in an actual theater watching the movie and
she's beside him and she takes his hand and they leave together. I mean, implying that yes, he did get a happy ending. He went to heaven with his wife and his kids waiting for them there. That is a happy ending if, yeah, it sucks you're not alive anymore, but we're going to go have orgies with famous people in heaven and your wife and your kid are waiting for you, But yeah, the scene did it for me. It tugged on the heartstrings a little bit. What? I'm a girl. I'm supposed to be a girl. What do you want?
I like the argument scene because that's I was like, why aren't these guys in more movies? Because the range of emotion that Brian Heller and Jeff Anderson pulled off in that scene, I was like, oh fuck, you guys are actual actors. Why have you
I don't know
why
about
have you
Jeff.
not done
he's not
done more shit?
He's not got as much range for me. Brian O'Halloran has a lot of range. I could actually watch him.
I mean, later on when he comes back, when Dante's dying and and he's trying to tell him that all this was for you. Both those guys showed a ton of fucking emotion in this movie that you don't normally see or haven't seen.
I could watch Brian O'Halloran in something else. That would not be a problem for me. He's got a pretty good range. And I thought he was cute in Clerks too, but that's just my opinion. Beard and a dad bod. What do you want? It's my thing.
Oh, I do like that one line where he's when Randall first gives them all the script to read, and he's and Elias is I don't know why both these girls are into Mr. Don T when I forgot what his fake Randall name was, is obviously the funnier one. And he's like, dude, that's something I've been wondering my whole life.
We want the men with emotional range. We want that. I don't care what y'all think. We want it. We want the emotional range. Funny is good, but the emotional range is better.
Hey, Ralph Garman says, make them laugh, make them breakfast.
Damn Skippy.
That's how I've lived my life.
Got to have a good dick game too, but the emotional range is very popular. It just works.
Well, see, the being funny can get you to showing the dick game.
That's true. I'll give you that one.
Yeah, you got to talk your way in first. But that's all we got for you this week. If you're watching on the YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll be right back. And you've been watching the Cigar Nerds podcast. Check us out on cigarnerdpodcast.com. We're on the ESO Network at esonetwork.com. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Cigar Nerd Pod. Remember, smoke them as you got them. Like, comment, and subscribe.